So I just finished reading Lamentations at home, and it was a handful. But I wanted to share with y'all some things that I underlined that I just think stood out to me. So I'm gonna read Lamentations chapter 3, 25 through 33, and it reads: "The Lord is good to those who depend on Him, to those who search for Him. So it is good to wait quietly for salvation from the Lord. It is good for people to submit at an early age to the yoke of His discipline. Let them sit alone in silence beneath the Lord's demand. Let them lie face down in the dust, for there may be hope at last. Let them turn the other cheek to those who strike them and accept insults of their enemies, for no one is abandoned by the Lord forever. Though He brings grief, He also shows compassion because of the greatness of His unfailing love, for He does not enjoy hurting people or causing them sorrow." I just had to go read that because that was powerful. I think that stood out in its own accord. And what really stood out to me throughout that is at an early age to learn the discipline of the Lord. I think that's so important because when you're not disciplined at a young age for things, when you get older, it's just going to escalate, right? So if God don't correct you when you sin at this age, when God don't correct you or when you do this at this age, sooner or later when you start to get older, it's going to become like normal to you. It's not going to be like, oh, when someone now tries to, correct the behavior, it's now like, oh, I've been doing this. And that is true. You've been doing this your whole life because their behavior was never corrected. I think something as Christians that we need to take better account of is discipline. I think when our leaders or whoever have to discipline us for whatever reason it is, I think we should take discipline well. I think we should be honored because at a young age it allows you to learn, it allows you to grow. I don't want to say build character, but it does build character because as God continues to shape you, as God continues to show you and groom you for ministry, for your gifts, for your callings, you'll know discipline, And it's like, okay, I'm disciplining my child because you did mess up, and I want you to know that, hey, you can't do this for the rest of your life and think that it's okay, right? Something else that stood out to me was, though He bring grief, He also shows compassion because of His greatness and His unfailing love, for He does not enjoy hurting people or causing them sorrow. I think that stood out to me so bad because God really does not enjoy punishing us. I don't think He enjoys hurting us. I don't think He enjoys when He has to bring grief, when we have to separate from this person, when we have to go this way, we have to leave this, we have to submit fully, when we have to go through the cocoon stage in order to become a butterfly. Like when God has to take us through so many jumps and hurdles and we have to go through things, it's not because He wants to hurt us, but it's like He wants us to understand that I'm compassionate. Like, yes, I see that you are going through this, and I'm compassionate towards you. My heart never changed towards you. That even in the midst of whatever you were doing, I still love you. Does that make it okay to keep sinning? Does it make it okay to keep falling short? Does it make it to keep struggling in whatever you're struggling in? No. But God is so loving and kind, and He's forgiving, and He's like literally it says in Lamentations, He is compassionate. This man shows so much compassion. You could think you over here and God over there, and God like, but I just want you to come here. And when you get back to Him, He's loving you, He's embracing you, He's allowing you to experience Him. And what I got from reading the whole book of Lamentations was, don't be like the people of Israel, facing things because you wouldn't leave sin alone. Sin is a big topic. Sin is a broad topic in being a Christian because we were born into sin. We were shaped into iniquity. because the falling of Adam and Eve, sin became our nature. But just because sin became our nature don't mean that you have to keep living in a sinful life like the people in Israel. From there, it said literally just in Lamentations that their ancestors had died, yet they were still getting the curses and going through those things that their ancestors was going through. Why? Because your ancestors wouldn't leave the sin alone. It just kept going from generation to generation. And I think, Jesus, even as a Christian, it is very important to break generational curses, break generational cycles, break generational trauma. This walk with God is not easy, and I don't ever want to come off like, oh, it's just easy. No, I've fallen short. I've struggled. I still struggle and fall short, and I still come back to God, even in the midst of whatever I am doing. God, for you know the plans that you have for me. It comes to a place of submitting and surrendering that even in your mess, know like God is gonna bring me out of this. Like, yes, this is something I'm struggling with now, but this won't be something that I'm dealing with always. This won't be a battle that I'm faced with. This won't be trial and a trial and a tribulation. This won't keep being